The Bank of Canada has held rates, but we're seeing a buildup of inventory in downtown Toronto, as well as the consumption rate starting to really slow down. However, in the suburbs, freehold townhomes are still going with multiple offers and bidding wars. What exactly is happening in the Toronto real estate market right now? Hi, my name is Adam Nadler. Thanks so much for tuning in again. I create real estate content for everybody who is looking to buy or sell in Toronto and the GTA. If you haven't already, please feel free to click the subscribe button below and hit that like button so this content can be pushed out to more people like yourself. And if by the end of this video you think to yourself, you know what, I'd like to chat with Adam about some real estate questions that I have, feel free to book a chat with me using the link in the description below. That'll connect you to a calendar where you can book a chat with me at a time that is most convenient for you, or feel free to just shoot me an email directly to adam@visionrealestate.ca and I will get you a personal video response within 24 hours. All right, so the headlines regarding the real estate market are just all over the place. Everyone is completely on one side of the fence or the other of whether or not prices are going to go up or going to come down. And I'd like to just chat about the numbers that we have today to go over what I think is going to be happening. And if you think that I'm right, please let me know in the comments. But if you think that I'm wrong, please let me know as well down below in the comments and why you think that things are going to go one way or another. All right, so let's just start off with consumption rate. This gives us a really good gauge to start with of how quickly properties are coming off the market and how many properties are coming onto the market relative to the consumption of properties. Now, this metric is largely referred to in the industry as months of inventory. Basically, what we do is we take the total amount of inventory currently on the market and divide it by the average number of sales happening each and every month. And basically, the closer to zero that number is, the hotter the market is. However, if the number is between 3 to 5, that's about a balanced market or a balanced consumption rate, and anything over 5 is a buyer's market. So we had a very, very slow winter, but the consumption rate never really creeped past 3. In January, the consumption rate for the entire Toronto Real Estate Board was 3. Meaning we're kind of teetering on a balanced market, but still sellers are having the advantage. Going into February, that dropped quite a bit to 2 months of inventory. And that's where we started to see the spring heat up a little bit. People were getting a little bit more anxious to get into the housing market as the Bank of Canada started kind of easing off, tapering off a little bit on their tightening cycle. Then March came and it dropped to 1.5. This is now a seller's market, 100%. And this is also when the Bank of Canada first announced that they were actually going to hold interest rates. Then they did it again in April, which brought the months of inventory down again to 1.4. And then in May, it dropped to 1.3. But then as we saw interest rates again start to climb in June and July, the months of inventory started to pick up. So it's not that we were seeing more inventory coming onto the market as more supply was being increased, because it wasn't. We just saw the demand start to shrink or shy away because the cost of borrowing went up. So in June, months of inventory crept up to 1.9. And in July, we saw another rate hike, which made the months of inventory jump up to 2.9. And then in August, it stayed the same at 2.9. And those are the numbers that we have for right now. Today, we will have the September numbers in October once the month is finished. So what we can see here is that every single time the Bank of Canada raises the rates, demand dwindles. Supply, if it's still lingering from previous months, will sit there, but we're not seeing a ton of new inventory coming onto the market, and this will start to slow pricing down. But just at the beginning of this month, we saw the Bank of Canada hold the rate steady again, and the next rate announcement isn't until the end of October, on October 25th. So are we going to have a heated fall market? Well, that remains to be seen, but right now the numbers are showing that people are a little bit disenfranchised with the market, especially in the condo market, which is building quite a bit of inventory in the downtown core. Overall, year over year for the Toronto Real Estate Board, there was a 5.2% drop in sales activity. This is comparing August of 2022 to August of 2023. Now, normally we do see a seasonal trend there, but August of 2022 was an extraordinarily slow month. We had just seen a massive interest rate bump in July of 2022, which was a full percent, which I don't think we've seen in many decades. So the summer has slowed down considerably. And if we look at sales volume month over month, it was a 1% drop from July. So not a big difference there, but still definitely slowing down. Pricing, however, didn't really change. Year over year, there was a 0.3% change, but month over month, there was a 1.6% drop in price. And at the very same time, we saw some more listings hitting the market and they were having a bit more trouble selling. Year over year, it was a 16.2% increase in total new listings, but the sales to new listings ratio was down by 10%. For the properties that were selling though, they actually were selling faster. Property days on market was down 17.6% year over year, and listing days on market was down 9.1% year over year. So although all of these numbers were for August, we can see that the summer was not a very good summer for Toronto real estate. And I think we should expect that moving forward unless the Bank of Canada does another rate hold October 25th. If that so happens to occur, I think we will see the same kind of trend that we saw with the spring when we saw 2 rate holds in a row, increase pricing and start to increase demand. So folks, I think it goes without saying that our housing market is completely at the mercy of the Bank of Canada. If interest rates go up, prices go down. If interest rates hold, prices will steadily climb because we still have way too much immigration happening for the amount of housing that we have to supply everybody with. And what determines whether or not the Bank of Canada raises rates or not? Well, inflation, of course. So we got to keep a close eye on inflation moving forward into the fall. Hopefully it starts to taper off and continue on that downward trend that we've been seeing over the last little while. And if it doesn't, expect housing to suffer. I personally am still going to remain optimistic because out of all the countries out there in the world, we happen to be doing really, really well despite all of our issues, and our housing supply is still extraordinarily low. Our immigration is at all-time highs, and I think that we are just basically creating a pressure cooker situation that once we stabilize inflation and interest rates come down, the housing market is just going to go completely bananas and skyrocket. But hey, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that it is going to be a good rest of the year for housing in 2023? And do you think that we are also going to have a good year in 2024? Or are we on the verge of doom and gloom collapse like everybody in the YouTube comments always likes to think? And tell me why you think that that's the case. Thanks so much again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.